Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. How you doing? My name is Chris Dumbo, and I just want to take a few minutes to talk about my experience with Roehl Transport and how I was dismissed from the company. It was because this one guy that works in the Gary, Indiana terminal, whose name was Adam Mandon, who's a real dweeb, by the way, but I'm going to try to stay professional on this. Anyway, he got me fired because evidently I look like somebody that picked on him in high school or something. I don't know, but the guy seemed to have it out for me, and he was one of those guys that's very he's so moronically stupid he actually thinks he's smart. Okay, but anyway, he tried to claim that I was late on a delivery on a day that I was off from work, that I was here at my house. And when he called me in there to the office, which I was like, I got up that morning, I was in a good mood anyway, and I was like, oh, I'll go in and listen to what he says, because I'd pretty much taken an oath at this point that I was not going to talk to the guy, because every time I had spoken to him over the phone, I mean, I could tell just how ignorant he really was, and how unqualified he was to do the job that he was doing. I have no tolerance for that. When I'm trying to get something done, the last thing that I can tolerate is incompetence and stupidity. I mean, I have no patience for that whatsoever. So I just pretty much had it's a little hot in here. I pretty much took an oath I was not going to fool with him no more. If I called in, I was just going to hang up and call back and try to get someone else. But anyway, he said I was late on a delivery in which I was home, I was off, and I said, well, I got my logbook here to back it up. He kicks back in his chair like he's Donald Trump or something. That's what's really funny there. And he said, oh, that's irrelevant. Well, what it was, he wanted to get me fired. He finally thought he had found a reason to, and he brings it up, and then here I got something to back my story up to say, to say what he is saying is false, and he tries to say it's irrelevant. Well, he's nervous the whole time he's doing this too. I mean, when he called me in there, I mean, this guy was shaking like a leaf. It was unbelievable. And when I started raising hell about it, he runs out and gets Kevin Burnett, which I have no idea what his job title is there at the Gary, Indiana terminal. And I don't really know exactly what Adam Mandon's job title was either. He was just a dispatcher as far as I was concerned. He was pretty much just a secretary to the drivers. But anyway, he gets Kevin Burnett, and Kevin comes in there, and he's kind of shaking too. I mean, these guys, I guess they thought I was going to, kick both of their asses or something. And, and this Kevin guy, he kind of acts like Little Richard, I mean, really flamboyant. He's a black guy, by the way. And he kind of looks like Little Richard too. But, he sticks his finger up like, nervous, like, you can accept it or you can not accept it. I don't care. But you start you start giving us any trouble, we're going to call the police. And I'm like, boys, I'm not going to give you any trouble, but, I think I got a good argument here. Did I not? Don't you agree? I mean, I got something to back up my case. They got nothing to back up theirs. But I got to thinking, I'm like, if this is the way it's going to be, if I'm going to have to deal with incompetent jackasses like this, then I don't want to work here. But it was Kevin. I mean, he did that, and like I said, he's like Little Richard. And after he said it, I was kind of looking for him to start singing and dancing, But anyway, I just want to say that I think it's unbelievable how you kind of see this with big companies, big trucking companies like Roehl, how they are more concerned about hiring someone, the son or the daughter or the brother or sister. It's all in who you know, because it's pretty obvious. The only way this guy got on there was his mommy and daddy or uncle or somebody knew somebody that got him on there. I mean, that was obvious as day right there. And and those companies, they're more concerned about hiring someone they know rather than someone who's actually qualified to do the job. And that's another reason why I made an oath that I was not going to talk to this guy no more, because I could see how stupid he was. He knew absolutely nothing about the truck driving or the trucking industry, nothing whatsoever. And this is why I've always said, for a dispatching job, they need to require someone that's got at least a year of over-the-road experience. And this Adam Mandon, he knew nothing about it, and like I said, he was so moronically ignorant, so moronically dumb, he actually thought he was smart. And if the guy would have just kept his mouth shut and listened to some of the drivers, he might have learned something, but he didn't want to do that because he was too determined to try to make everybody else think he was smart, when everybody, all the drivers and everybody, pretty much everybody in that office, saw just how stupid he really was, and he didn't see it. And but anyway, the guy had it out for me, and he's got some serious self-esteem issues. Okay, for one thing, he's got a serious acne problem. His face looks like the Grand Canyon, and I guess he thought, you know, like I said, I must have looked like somebody that picked on him in school or something. I guess he thought getting somebody like me fired would make him feel good about himself, which maybe it did. I really don't care. But anyway, overall, Roehl was not a bad company just when I had to deal with that jackass. And it's, I mean, I didn't plan on spending the rest of my life at that company, but, you know, I did kind of like it. It was one of the better companies, but I guess there's just a few bad apples wherever you work. But anyway, if you work for Roehl, you might want to avoid that Gary, Indiana terminal, because there are some true idiots working there, jackasses. And there was another woman that worked there too. Her name was Megan, and she was a real bitch too. I had nothing but problems with her when I called in. I don't know what her problem was, but anyway. And as for, you know, when Kevin Burnett come in and said that, you know, you can accept it or you can not accept it, I don't care. Now, I mean, it takes a true jackass to say something like that. All right, I mean, can you say unprofessional? Of course, these people, they're jackasses. They don't know nothing about professionalism, and Adam definitely doesn't. But anyway, you know, if you go to Roehl, you might want to stay away from the Gary, Indiana terminal. And if they try to run you out of there, you might want to get them to run you somewhere else, because you do not want to deal with those incompetent idiots at the Gary, Indiana terminal. Trust me, okay? Anyway, there's a lot more I could say about this, and I may say it later on. I'll title it Roehl Transport 2. But anyway, have a safe driving trip, guys, and we'll talk at you later.